Hello. Happy Wednesday, everybody. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Lindsey Hall, and I'm a divorce and intimacy coach. And I really love to help people turn their divorce pain into their power, really live a life that they absolutely love. So I come on every week and I do these tea break chats and Q&As where I talk about what's been going on this past week, like, a week in the life of a divorce and intimacy coach. Sometimes it's lessons, struggles, could be anything. And then I answer your questions. If you saw last week's, it was really rambly because I've been in this kind of weird place. But hopefully this week's is a bit more normal. But the kind of summary of where I've been at lately is about a month ago, I took on some corporate accounting contract work and have been doing that alongside my coaching business. And in addition to doing a whole bunch of things like providing more stable and secure income, it's also really helped me give the kind of irony of it is that it's given me some space in my business. So although it's taken up a bunch of time, so in a lot of ways I have less time available now than I did before, it's also allowed me to feel more like I can zoom out from my business a little bit more rather than being stuck in the weeds of it all the time. I can zoom out a little bit and go, okay, what is it that I am trying to achieve here? How am I trying to achieve it? Am I doing it in a way that makes sense? Am I doing it for the right people, for the right reasons, and all of that? So that's been really useful, whilst also adjusting to the routine of having this other thing 2.5 days a week, fitting in, as I talked about last week and maybe the week before that, I've really been focusing for myself, going back to the basics in terms of what I need, which is currently meaning nutritious food, drinking enough water, getting outside, some fresh air, moving my body, getting enough sleep, and having at least a pocket of pleasure every day. So there's the 6 basics I've been focusing on. And although they're pretty basic, it's hard to fit them all in every week. I've actually got a habit board. So I've learned this habit board thing from my personal trainer, Pippa PGPT, on Instagram. And so she does this habit board where you just put the simple habits that you want to do every day across the top, days of the week down the side, and you tick them off as you go. Have I so far had a week where I've hit all of those 6 things every day? Absolutely not. Do they help me get closer to my goals? Definitely. By having it there and visual, I can see where I'm not doing the things or if there's a pattern of I'm just not doing that same one every time. So it's helping. I've been focusing on that. I've been having this zoomed out view of my business, really trying to get more clear on what is my purpose with my coaching business? Who is it that I'm trying to help? Is my marketing aligning with that? Are my activities aligning with that? And the answer is not always. The answer is starting your own business is just crazy. And you can answer a question one week, in my experience at least. You can answer a question like that one week, and then the next week be like, what? I have to question all that all over again. But a bunch of things have been happening that have really helped me get more clear on it. I've been having more conversations with kind of the right people. I've been having more conversations with potential dream clients, and really just focusing in on why it is that I do this work that I do, why it is that I am so passionate about relationships, about intimacy coaching. Although I am niching down on the divorce work, it's also at the same time, this is not just divorce work. The reason I do this is because I am passionate about our relationships and about the impact that solid relationships, and by that I mean with ourselves first and foremost, but then our intimate relationships with others, our relationship with our kids, our work relationships, the impact that relationships have on us and on the wider world is just, it's the foundation of everything. It's part of, we as humans are hardwired for connections like this. And I truly believe this sounds like some big grandiose statement, but I truly believe that doing this kind of intimacy and relationship work, it does help us heal individually and collectively and make an impact on the world. Like, is my little coaching business going to solve, achieve world peace? Absolutely not. But does it help with the creating the ripple effect that as we do this work, does it ripple out to those around us and further and further and further afield in ways that we don't even know? Absolutely, yes, I do believe that. So having these conversations where, I had one this week with a potential client who does a really, I always struggle here a bit because I don't want to give away any kind of potentially identifying details. But so a client who does a very important job in our society that nobody would argue with, is a very key role in keeping our society functioning well. So she's right up there, the top of her career game. And she broke up with her partner sometime last year. And that has knocked her right down. And it's actually been harder for her to find support and to ask for support. Although she knows she needs it and she has been getting support in certain areas, it was harder for her to get support than other people might find sometimes because she was at the top of her game. And because people have such high expectations of her. And if you can do this role, it must mean that you can hold everything together, handle all the shit that life throws at you. Of course it means that. When that actually doesn't mean that at all. And it can mean that there's actually quite a lot of pressure on her. And she knows how badly she needs support, but how to get that when that's the position she's in. And so she came to me because she wants to be able to take these steps to move forward to get back up. So her career has taken a hit because her personal life took this big hit. And so she's getting support from other people. There are other people on her support team already. And she wants to work with me to supplement that in terms of how do we get her back up into her career? How do we get that sass back in her? How do we get her to really be able to move forward in her career? In fact, not even move forward at this point, but get back to where she was and then move forward in her career. How do we get her back into feeling like I have a peaceful, happy home life? How does she even begin to contemplate potential new relationships? So those things that other people, so in her support team where she's already working with a therapist, she's already working with a couple specialists in other areas in her life, but they're all addressing these other areas. And she wants to work with me to do this. How do I go forward in these things? And to me, that is absolutely the dream, because it is about that moving forward piece. And I couldn't do all of those pieces on my own. So when we first were on this conversation, on this call, and she was telling me all the things going on, I was having an internal dialogue in my head of going, oh, this is above my pay grade. Oh, she needs a licensed mental health professional here. Oh, I am not qualified to help with that. And then it turns out she has those bits and I would be playing the separate role. And that is exactly because all of these pieces are important and they work together and they complement each other and really help create this best version going forward. Is that for everybody? No, it's not. And I know that. Are there people who would really benefit from a massive support team who can't afford it? Of course. Do I wish that we could all have a massive support team? Yeah. Is there a hell of a lot more support that I would like in my life that I can't afford right now? Yeah. But I don't think that means that for those who can afford it, those who can bring it in, you shouldn't not have it just because not everybody else can afford it. And I think that this is the kind of area where the more supported we can all be in. So for this woman, the more support she can get and to get her back into a better position, the more people she is then able to help. So not only will she feel a hell of a lot better in and of herself, which is absolutely the massive goal, but then the ripple effect of that is in this position that she's in, she will be able to continue helping so many more people. Because right now, when she is not down and absolutely not able to do the things she wants to do, she's not helping herself or anyone else, she's in the point where she's I'm just trying to survive and get through this stuff. But if we can fill her back up, she gets to continue doing these wonderful things for society that we all need. And I think that it's this way no matter what your role is, whether the more that we can really focus on getting ourselves to a good place. And this is not an end goal, by the way. So when I say a good place, I don't mean aha, I am healed. I have reached the destination. I am now peaceful, content, and done with my journey. It doesn't ever work like that, unfortunately. But I mean, to move her from where she is now to these other steps forward, the more we can all do that, the more that we get to continue to collectively heal the world. Like I said, I know it sounds lofty. I always feel a bit like, am I actually saying that? But yeah, I am actually saying that because these things matter. And it's the same with, because I've been having other conversations this week and talking about how I would love to talk to more high-level executives who understand the importance of supporting their team and their employees with personal life stuff like this. Because again, you can be kick-ass career mode, doing big things at work. And if your personal life is crumbling, whether it's because you are in, you and your partner haven't had sex for 2 years, or you're going through a divorce, or you are now single parenting for the first time and trying to hold your shit together, or you're dating and holy hell, there's all of these things that are affecting you as a person, which then affects how you show up at work. And the idea that the super old school idea of you leave your home life at home when you come to work, I think most of us, not all of us by any means, but a lot of us have moved on from that and go, no, we are a whole person all the time. Does that mean that you want to go to work and share all of your personal problems with everybody in the office? Probably not. That could very well be overkill. But is it affecting you? Even if you're not talking about it, even if you're trying really hard to keep home life and work life separate, it is having an impact on your nervous system. It is having an impact on your ability to concentrate, on your focus, on your attention. It's having an ability on your, how full your tanks are. So you might start snapping at people at the office because you're totally drained from all that stuff happening at home. People in the office are like, what's going on? Why are they so snappy? These things affect us in all areas of our life, even if we're trying not to talk about it, even if we're trying to keep it separate. And like I said, it can be sometimes harder to ask for help at that level because you're supposed to keep it all together. That's where I want to make a difference. That's where I think that we can be better employees, better leaders, better humans in society. The more work that we do on ourselves and our relationship with ourselves and our relationships with others, it makes a freaking difference. And these are the conversations that I've been having this week. These are the conversations where I've been going, oh, yes, that kind of reminding me of why I'm doing this, reminding me of these conversations I want to have more of who I want to be having conversations with, who I want to be helping. Just, yeah, there's so much. My brain has now just suddenly gone with ideas that I can't even make any of the words come out. One more drink of tea. So, yeah, that's kind of where I've been at. But I've been doing all of that. And then I am off next week. So today is my last working day for the next week and a half. Because my sister is coming to visit. And she's bringing her kids and her husband. And then I'll have my kids home from school for the Easter holidays. And we're going to be busy doing all the things. So I've been trying to get ready for their visit. But I am not a good tour guide. I don't love planning things like that, like trips and things to do. It stresses me out. So I've been trying to do some of that while also wrapping up this online course that I've been in and trying to get my assessments in for that, while doing the day job, while having these moments in my business. And the way I've been dealing with all that, let me just check the time. Okay, I'll wrap up this quickly because I've got a really good question to come on to. But I just want to say that the way that I've been sort of holding all of this, because don't get me wrong, this has been a lot. And although it's all good stuff, it's whew, in my system, is really just really leaning into everything I kind of learned in the past year in particular about nervous system work and trying to calm my nervous system before I do anything else, trying to drop out of my head and into my body. I've really, like I said at the beginning, I've been focusing on those basics for myself. So the nutritious food, the water, the sleep, the movement, the fresh air, the pocket of pleasure. The more I can do those, the better. And if you watch these, you'll know that my go-to self-sabotage for a long time has been sleep and not getting enough sleep. This pretty much started actually when lockdown started and I had my baby and split up from my ex and all of it. Like that's kind of when I just decided that me time and alone time was more important than sleep. And that's continued. But I've really been focusing on getting at least 8 hours of sleep every night. It's making a difference, as annoying as it is, because it's really impinging on my Netflix time, y'all. But actually, it's really helping me keep my shit together when I get more sleep. And even though it's like, but I have less time. Like if I could just do another hour or two of work, I'd get more done. But it's helping me be more efficient, more with it in my awake hours. So yeah, really just focusing on those kinds of things. And then just doing one thing at a time. Just trying to do the next thing. I sometimes get myself overwhelmed with the multitasking. I did do it again this morning. I had both laptops out, my work laptop, my personal laptop, both notebooks. Like there was just stuff all over and I was like, oh man, brain's gonna like short circuit. And I had to pack up all the stuff I wasn't doing and put it away and just focus on the one thing. And just doing the one next thing at a time. So that's my little itty bitty tidbit of advice for when you're doing all the things and you can't do all the things at once. Yeah, that's my update of what's been going on lately. Okay, and then here's the question I had this week. This one is I feel it because I hear this one a lot from people. So the conversation was around dating after divorce, which, by the way, if you've been here for a while, you know that dating after divorce is one of my favorite things to talk about and one of my favorite areas to coach in. I probably say that about a few things, but I love all the dating conversations. But they're not always fun and easy. Sometimes they're really hard. And this one was like a one. So the question was, I'm really afraid of picking the same kind of person again, because despite knowing that it's awful, it's what I know. How do I stop myself from picking that same kind of person again and repeating those same patterns? And like I said, I get this question a lot. I've also felt it personally. So this is a real thing. And we have these really strong relationship programmings within us where we pick up these relationship blueprints. It might have come from how we saw our parents or the family that we grew up in, how we saw them relating. It will have come from the relationships that we ourselves have had. And it works its way deep inside of us, into our subconscious, into our energy system, into all these parts of us, this this relationship programming, where this is how our relationships tend to pan out. So we see the same patterns with the people that we're attracted to, with the people who are attracted to us, with the way that we respond to them, with the way that they respond to us. The fact that these patterns keep playing out is very much a part of how our relationship programming works. And our job in doing this work, in taking these growth steps, in doing this personal development journey, whatever you want to call it, our job is to start to bring awareness to that relationship programming, awareness to those patterns, and to start to make intentional changes to do something different. Is it easy? Not always. Is it fun? Not always. Can it feel scary? Yeah, because our brains resist change. Our brains really, even if it's something that isn't great for us, our brains go, but we know it. It's familiar. Better the devil we know. That kind of thing. And anytime you're trying to introduce change, your brain's like, stop the presses. I don't know what's going to happen here. The unknown is scary as fuck. I don't want to go there. So even though that kind of relationship doesn't light you up, it doesn't meet your needs, it actually kind of leaves you feeling like shit. But what if the next relationship is worse? What if he picks a different kind of person and it's worse than that? We can't be having that. Stick with that. It's not great, but stick with it anyway. That's what can go on in our brains sometimes. So to start to break that pattern, the first step really is awareness of it. And I always want to really caveat with, and wrap this in so much love and compassion, because shaming ourselves for repeating these patterns, for whatever relationship programming that we've got, shaming ourselves and beating ourselves up for it is absolutely never the helpful answer here. That is not what leads to change. So I want you to wrap yourself up in a big hug of compassion and kindness and love and say, oh, I'm so grateful for past Lindsey, for learning those lessons, for being able to be here still today and to teach me these lessons. And I'm going to do something differently this time. And if I repeat the same mistake, it's okay. I have more awareness now. I have more tools now. I have the choice to do things differently, and I'm going to do that. We can't change what happened in the past. We actually can't even change what happens in the future. We can only do the right here and now, so we can make different decisions in the right here and now. So if you notice these patterns in yourself, if you notice yourself going for that same type of person again and going, oh, damn it, here I am again, don't beat yourself up. Just notice it and go, okay, what is it that I am getting from going to that same type of person again? Where am I benefiting from that? Because there is always the benefit, even if it doesn't look like it, even if you're like, but it's going to be awful. Like, I know that. Why do I do it? You're getting a benefit from it. So maybe it is that sense of security, that sense of, at least I know how this is going to go. And then open yourself up to, what if I could be open to something new? What if I could try something else here? And this is where coaching can definitely help, because I can't, you're not just going to change your whole mindset based on just listening to this one thing. But this is where we can start to make those changes and open up to the possibility of something new. Open up to the possibility of new things and learning how to trust yourself along the way, so that if you see those patterns repeating, you can trust yourself and go, ooh, I'm going to listen to that nudge and I'm going to do something different. Or you trust yourself that you can make a different choice. You trust yourself that you can, if you go for somebody completely new, like totally not the type of person you've dated before, and you're like, this is scary, I've never dated somebody like this before, but you trust yourself that you're going to listen to whether that's right for you or not. So really, I guess what I'm saying here is, yes, these patterns are part of our relationship programming, part of our blueprint, and they can change. It takes effort, it takes intention, it takes energy, and it's so freaking worth it, because getting into, you can then create these new relationship blueprints, this new programming, and you can actually learn to be in relationships that are healthy, secure attachments, nurturing, meets your needs, meets their needs, mutually beneficial. All of this is possible, and it can feel unsettling. It might feel boring or stale because it's not what you're used to. If you're used to like the chaos and the ups and downs and the roller coasters, and you can learn to reprogram your brain and your body and your energy system to go, actually, this feels really freaking good. This feels good. This goodness is safe in my body. This pleasure is safe in my body. This is safe for me to receive. It takes time, but it's possible, and it's so worth it. So that's what I have to say on that. And I think that's probably all I've got for today. I just to follow up on that point, like I said, this is where working with a coach can be really helpful. Can you do it by yourself? Absolutely, yes. Is it easier when you have support? Absolutely, yes. Because having somebody to remind you to treat yourself with love and compassion, having somebody to point out the repeating patterns, having somebody to help you start to reframe, start to program in new patterns, all of that can be really helpful with somebody else rather than trying to do it all by yourself. Which, I'm going to lead on. Look at this nice, like, smooth segue. It's as though I planned this, but I didn't, because I never plan these. Leads me on to the fact that I have a Dating After Divorce group program starting soon. Yay! Absolutely, like I said, dating after divorce is like one of my favorite topics. So this program is a 6-week program. I do it in collaboration with Kindling Dating. And so it's a 6-week program where I go through as much as I can possibly pack in about dating in a 6-week period. It's a mix of pre-recorded videos about a whole bunch of topics and a weekly live call with me. You can either do it one-to-one or the group setting. The group setting starts on April 18th, Thursday nights at 8:30. And so we kind of go through like the timeline of dating, almost, of starting with like releasing the past, taking your lessons from the past relationship, really kind of getting closure on that, to the moving forward, addressing the fears around dating, addressing how to be moving forward in it, how to and well, it's a mix of like mindset stuff and practical stuff. Every week you get a mix of both of those elements, mindset and practical stuff. And we go through the dating after divorce journey together. So yes, if you're interested in that, send me a message, let me know. I can send you the link. I would say I would put it in the thingy, but I'm not very great at doing that, so you're better off just messaging me. Plus, this is obviously a recorded video that you could be watching at some point in the future, so if that's true, message me and find out what the options are right now. But yeah, that 6-week program starts April 18th, and I am very excited. Also, I've got one-to-one coaching spots available, so if you're interested in one-to-one coaching with me, let me know. We can talk about what that looks like. Be more than happy to jump on a call and talk through the options with you. I am loving these calls right now. So I can send you the booking link and we can book you in at a time that works best for you. I will be off next week because my sister is here. Should I mention that? So yes, I will be off next week. So no tea break chat next week. So the next one will be Wednesday, April 10th, I believe I think that's the Wednesday. So I'll be back then. But of course you can always watch all the back catalog if you want. And I will put up a story box on the Tuesday before if you've got questions for me. But if you just want to send me a question, however you've got one, I can always stash them away for the next episode as well. I think that's everything. So thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you ever want to chat relationship stuff, let me know what came up in any of this. Have questions, feedback, like moments or moments or any of the things, let me know. It's called a tea break chat because I want to chat with you. Okay, sending you lots of love. Mwah.